All right, let's just jump right in. We all use email, right? It's how we connect, how we sell, how we build our communities. But what if the very tools we're using, the ones we rely on, are secretly holding us back? Today, we're going to talk about a way to completely break free from the usual chains of email marketing. So let me ask you something. What do you think it really costs to scale your email? I'm talking big, like 1 million sends a day, every single day. That's empire building scale. So what's the price tag? If you use the standard tools, the big names everyone tells you to go with, what's the number in your head? $2 million a month. And no, that's not a typo. It's not an exaggeration. When you actually calculate the industry standard pricing for all the domains, the inboxes, the maintenance, the hidden fees, this is the reality of scaling up. It's just an insane number, right? It puts that kind of growth completely out of reach for pretty much everyone. And that is the core problem we're going to tear apart today. And that right there, that's what we call the emailer's dilemma. You know that dream you had. That dream of having this amazing, direct connection to your audience. Well, somewhere along the line, it got twisted. It turned into this nightmare of constantly rising fees, worrying about getting shut down out of nowhere, and having to follow all these rules that you have zero control over. I mean, really think about it for a second. With most of these big email services, every single email you send, every dollar you pay them, you're actually building their empire, not your own. You see their little logo at the bottom of your emails? It's their domain reputation you're helping to build. You're literally paying them a ton of money for the privilege of advertising for them. And this is where it gets interesting. The source material has this quote that it paints such a perfect picture. It calls them the old mafia boss holding on to power but feeling the loss. It's brilliant, right? It frames these old, established players as these gatekeepers. They're stuck in the past, clinging to power, and making you pay more and more for less and less freedom. So where do you go from there? What's the answer? Well, it's not just about finding a cheaper service. It's about a complete change in how you think about this. It's the difference between renting and owning. You have to stop being a tenant on someone else's platform, always worried about the landlord changing the rules or jacking up the rent. It's time to own the building. And the difference is just night and day. Look at this. The old way, the renting way, you're on these crowded, shared servers. Your costs go through the roof the second you start to grow. You're promoting their brand, playing by their rules. But the new way, the owning way, that's your own private infrastructure. The price is stable. It's fixed. Every single email you send promotes you. And the best part? You are in 100% control. Okay, so when I say private infrastructure, what does that actually mean? It sounds kind of techy and complicated, but it's really not. It just means the whole shebang. The servers, the software, the special IP addresses, the entire system is built from scratch, exclusively for you, on your domain. Think of it this way. You own the whole engine. You're not just buying a ticket to ride someone else's train. All right, now let's talk money. Let's look at the actual numbers, because this is where the gap between renting and owning just becomes, well, it's jaw-dropping, honestly. Okay, just look at this. Let's say you have 100,000 subscribers. With a classic service like Aweber, you're looking at over $1,000 a month. 1,000. That's more than $12,000 a year. Now, look at the no-limit emails model. With your own infrastructure, that same list, same power, is $67 a month. The annual savings. I mean, the math speaks for itself. It's huge. And here's a quote that just cuts right to the chase. It's a $12,000 saving going on in here. That's just reality. And that's the key, right? This isn't some gimmick. It's not a sale. That huge saving, that's just the reality of what happens when you stop paying for all the overhead and bloat of these giant shared systems and you just pay for your system. But look, it's not all about the tech, or even just the money, is it? Let's talk about what happens when you need help, when something breaks. Because let's be honest, dealing with customer support can be the most soul-crushing part of any service. And this is another huge piece of it. The whole setup is completely done for you. You don't have to be a tech genius, seriously. All you do is give them your domain name. Then they go and build the entire system for you. They host it, they install everything, they handle all the maintenance. Then they just hand you the keys. You just log in and start sending. That's it. And this is the real game changer. I want you to completely forget about support tickets. Forget about waiting a day or 2 days for some generic email reply.
The promise here is something else entirely. We're talking live, on-screen help from an actual human being. They jump on a call, share your screen, and fix the problem with you, right there on the spot. It's just a whole other world of support, isn't it? So when you put all these pieces together, the cost, the control, the done-for-you service, the incredible support, you start to see that this isn't really about just a better email tool. It's much bigger than that. It's about freedom. It's about digital liberation. What do you gain? You get freedom from costs that literally punish you for being successful. You get freedom from all the technical headaches and updates. You get freedom from that nagging fear that you could get shut down without warning. Freedom from building someone else's brand. And what does that all add up to? It's the simple, powerful freedom to just communicate. And then there's this. This speaks volumes about trust and stability. For 6 years, the price has not changed. Think about that. In an online world where prices for everything seem to go up every year, this has stayed the same. That's not just a pricing strategy, that's a promise. That's the kind of solid ground you can actually build a real business on. And that's really what it all boils down to. When you take away all those limits, the limits on your budget, the limits on your growth, the limits on getting help, the limits on your control, what are you left with? You're left with communication. Pure and simple. Communication without limits. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Your list, your direct line to your customers, that is without a doubt your single most valuable asset. The question is, are you happy just renting it from someone else, or are you ready to finally, truly own it?